by now we dropped Skype at least once.
Okay, because what was really weird wasn't simulcasting. Whoops.
Okay.
So I guess maybe things are netrootsradio.com. Now we are a half hour into the show.
Yeah.
3 minutes past the hour. The bottom of the hour. And finally, we are actually on Spreaker.com.
There we go.
Like I said, this is the way my day has been.
A shout out there.
Yeah. Rosa.
Yeah, we plan on being on Spreaker for the whole time.
I'm still kind of eager to find out who's going to be speaking.
Yeah, speakers, I don't know. Word on that yet. There may not be any. I don't think any of the candidates show up. I doubt it anyway. It's kind of late in the game at this point for them to show up because there's no point.
No, they still need to earn the vote.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm with like Elon on that one. Earn my vote.
Yeah.
I went off.
Well,
and I'm still wondering what brand of knee pads Il Duce has purchased and how many, because for a man who said he was not going to be beholden to donors, because they got to pick up, because you got to answer the phone when they call, which he pointed out with Hillary.
Yeah.
He is such an awesome businessman. Yeah, he's had tons of free airtime. He's never had to pay for airtime.
Right. And didn't have to do that. Right.
But his campaign is bankrupt. He has no ground game.
Right.
So you got to wonder what Sheldon Adelson is going to ask for in return for the whatever amount he gave early on.
Yeah.
And now,
how could he be bankrupt when he hasn't spent any money really on anything?
Because he doesn't a lot of his campaign,
he hasn't paid for a lot of ads.
He has never paid for ads, never paid for airtime.
Yep.
Because he didn't have to.
Right.
So he never had any money, really. I mean,
I guess he didn't have any money, I guess is the thing.
His campaign, he was financing whatever it was he was doing on.
I think he
on the campaign shit.
I think he put about $25,000 into his own campaign, and then he funded it off of that. I guess, I don't know. Apparently, because apparently the money's not there that he talks about having. Otherwise, he'd be okay, money-wise. But when you still have to go to Adelson and some of the other heavy hitters, I don't know.
96. Let's see. According to Open Secrets, he raised $59.9 million, with 96% of that in campaign donations, including his self-financing. And only 4% came from the super PACs and other groups.
Right. So
and that's from Open Secrets.
So he's saying that he put in 90% of that 90 or 56 million.
And we're gonna
whatever the hell it is, yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's got it. I really don't think he's got the money he thinks he's got, or says he's got. He may be a billionaire, but it's all on paper, I think.
We've always said he's a paper billionaire. He doesn't have any liquid assets. When I was working as secretary for a real estate lawyer, and all he did was closings.
Yeah.
If you were purchasing an apartment at Trump Tower in Columbus Circle, you paid in full at time of closing.
Right.
Now I am wondering, since Trump made the claim that he doesn't pay for shoddy work or incomplete work, wonder if he fully paid the people who did the shit work in those apartments. Because among some of the things with the clients this lawyer was representing, they weren't going to do anything until the things were leveled and baseboards were done correctly. There was a lot of shoddy work done in that building.
Right.
So did he pay those contractors in full? Are they among those 196 lawsuits against him for failure to, for breach of contract, essentially?
Right.
said earlier. I mean, if you're not happy with somebody's work, you take them to court to get your money back, or you make them redo the job. You don't drive a company out of business like he did with the folks who created the base for the slot machines at his casino. Trump bankrupted his Atlantic City casino by breaking a promise to the New Jersey Gaming Commission, in which he stated he would not take out high interest loans.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if he lasts till November. I really will. I don't think he's going to last. He'll drop out or something in October or something and say, that's it. I'm done playing this game. I'm spending way too much money. I'm down 12, 13, 14 points in the polls and forget about it. Just drop out. I don't see him. Maybe he'll go the distance.
Well, this is the whole problem. He's just done such an awesome job of destroying. It's not going to happen. If he drops out, there will be a bloodbath.
On the Republican side?
Yes.
Yeah, it could be.
And it's going to be those guys that are going to show up in Cleveland armed.
It might
To protect, I guess, to protect the police from the protesters.
I guess, yeah.
I'm sure the police are just going to just love that. And because open carry is legal in Ohio, there is absolutely nothing the police can do to stop these guys from showing up loaded to bear.
There you go.
And you just know if they do, they're going to kill somebody.
Yeah. Cleveland should be fun. Ought to get John Pennymont on that. Have him covering for us some of the stuff there.
I might, if I can find a way to do it, I might.
Swing by Cleveland.
No, Philadelphia for the Democrats.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I'm thinking too. If we can get some support there.
Well, actually, what would be really cool is if, however, that would be like a major get press credentials.
Yeah.
Through the DNC.
Definitely. That shouldn't be too much of a problem.
No, we should do that now. If seriously,
Yep.
If we're going to have boots on the ground there.
We got to get it now. Well, we're only going to have you on the ground as far from our.
But no, but it's going to need to be credentialed.
Yeah, I agree. No doubt. Maybe drift glass can go along or something, or maybe blue gal or one of these other.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Find out. We'll find out at N16 what's going on. Maybe we can get some support there to go to Philly, because I think we'll bump into the right people to get us press credentials. I think. Maybe not, but I suspect so. Let's put it that way.
Donald Trump discharged $4.7 billion in bankruptcies.
You did what?
This is an article from March 23rd of this year in Fortune magazine, by the way.
Ah, okay.
Donald Trump is understating his debt by $500 million.
I wouldn't be surprised. Or overstating, I would think they would be probably. Maybe they're saying understating. I don't know.
But this is Fortune, and they don't have any reason to. They're not going to risk their reputation by,
Right.
But factor in debt and it may only be worth half of that. Put it together and you get a better picture of why Trump is likely worth nowhere near the $10 billion he says he is. Trump declared a net worth of $8.7 billion, a figure updated in the July press release to in excess of $10 billion. The only words emblazoned in capital letters. The June balance sheet does list debt of $503 million, which is labeled loans and mortgages. But a lot more debt is connected to his buildings than Trump is letting on. In fact, Trump is subtracting the mortgage amounts to arrive at the equity figure. He even lost money on the Plaza Hotel here in New York City.
Yeah, which is pretty hard to do, I got to admit. Yeah. So his $10 billion really is more like $1 billion, maybe by the time you get all done with it. He might have $1 billion that he could.
Looks like he's taken out mortgages. Dipped into the equity in his buildings.
No doubt. Yeah, no question.
which
It's just not a
I
good
know
finish.
there are
We lose somebody? No, we
now
got
I'm
nobody.
here.
Okay, but yeah, that 10 billion, like they say, is just nonsense.
Well, as I was saying, people who have invested money invested in real estate investment trusts as part of their retirement investments, they're shit out of luck with if they've got if any of those trusts have invested in Trump properties because of it's
Right, right.
even Forbes is asking if Donald Trump has performed in the real estate business.
There you go. Uh, he makes his money the old-fashioned way. He files for bankruptcy, and that's I think that's his style more than anything.
Donald Trump for president
Yes,
only donated $8,505
to the campaign.
to his own campaign.
Yep, I can believe that.
MDC Holdings, on the other hand, 10,800.
Okay, I don't know how they can contribute to campaigns. I just don't get that at all. Legally,
Well, I'm looking at OpenSecrets.com,
okay.
so
Yeah. 417-717-1454. That's how to do that. Best way to do that is to get on. Yeah, Ricky asked if he could drop out after the convention. Yeah, I guess he can. I don't know why he couldn't. I guess I'm thinking he could.
well, here's the
Nothing
issue:
really stopping him.
who's going to want to risk their political future to be run as his vice presidential candidate?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think anybody's going to pick up that spot. Nobody's going to. He's already got out. He's got it out there a few times. I think the
And
only
he's
one's
like
going to
quickly
take it is Palin.
trying, and
It might be Palin. She might take it.
that,
Yeah.
like that worked out so well for John McCain.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
He
Because
didn't
she's
even.
got
She
nothing
wasn't
else to
even
do.
vetted. They didn't even check into her.
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, that's what you want. You want somebody who quits midway through because she's making more money. On the rubber chicken circuit.
Yeah. Yep.
And you preach one thing. You got 2 kids. You got 3 kids, all of whom have either fathered or given birth out of wedlock.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
Especially what's her ass, who is like the face of abstinence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's to do as I say, not as I do.
Pregnancy number 2. Yeah. It's a riot. It's a riot.
And people who love the Libertarian Party.
Yeah. Who's over there? Johnson or something?
Gary Johnson and Governors Johnson and William Weld.
Jeepers.
And what
Just
they
keeps
don't
getting
understand,
crazier and
maximum freedom, minimum government. Yeah, you want to get rid of all those lovely fucking safety nets. Actually, basically throw people that won't have the money. Basically take them back to to the 30s when
Oh, absolutely.
you had no job, you had no protections.
Yeah, you got no income.
One of the most frightening.
Social Security, you got no income.
Didn't have unions. In a movie called not Lord of the Flies, Day of the Locusts, there's an on-site soundstage accident. Set collapses, and the studio heads are, looking at the set designer played by William Atherton. So, well, what are they going to do? Sue? They wouldn't sue. They'd never work again.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah, you're not going to sue because you're
and
not going to get a
basically
job.
The libertarian platform is everything the Republicans have been trying to do since Obama was elected. Dismantling the
Oh, absolutely.
the functions of government But
Safety
from
nets, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
everybody, all these young people who you don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, the Libertarian Party, the vice presidential candidate, I think in 70 something or other.
Yeah, it was.
David
Was it,
was the Koch brothers' father.
there you go. I'm thinking against Carter, Jimmy Carter, in '76 is
Yep.
what I guess.
Yeah, and their platform was everything the Republicans have been trying to do: get rid of the all sorts of federal oversight. You know, we don't need food safety standards. We don't need safe drugs. We
Don't
don't
need
need a
nothing.
Department of Education. We don't need this, that, or the other. We don't need
Right.
everything else. The only thing we need is a strong fucking military.
Yep. That's all I need
And you
right there is
can't
a
get
strong
people to join
military.
the military if they're earning enough money to not join the military.
Right. No question. No doubt about it.
And also because there is no draft is the reason the American public is not so invested in protesting
No question about that too. You're
our
right.
what y- you know
Yep.
our
That's been gone
incursions
since
into other nations. Because nobody's ass is
they
on the
put a
line. It's
stop to
all
that since
volunteer.
the
Nobody's
'70s.
ass
Yeah.
is on the line.
Right. Absolutely.
Everybody in the military is there
Voluntarily, and they don't know one
voluntarily,
of them.
although people will say, "Oh, no, you're indentured because they'll pay for your education." But you're going in there knowing that, so you can't say you didn't know.
Right.
Except for those
Right.
idiots who decide that I didn't know I was going to have to go fight under a black president.
Right.
I'm not going.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks.
There's that. Yeah. There is that
What I love
aspect.
are the veterans. There's some veterans who are now saying, "No, thank you for paying for my education." When a civilian
Oh,
walks up to them and says, "Thank you for your service," no, thank you for putting me through school.
well, the military-industrial complex got everybody's noses out of their business by eliminating the draft, really, because that
No, they
pretty
didn't. No, that had nothing to do with it.
sure did. Had everything to do with it. We don't want people's noses on our business while we're
I'm
doing
still
while
in
we're
the business, but
running
but
these
the
wars.
issue was if you're not invested in it.
Yeah, exactly. There's no investment.
That's why
Invested at
that's why
all.
people had no problems going shopping when George Bush told everybody to go out your
Yeah,
daily
go shopping.
business. There's
Go
nothing to see
shopping.
over here.
Yeah,
We weren't invested in it.
right. Because nobody has a kid in the military.
And that's why I love the idea from Charlie Rangel of reinstating the draft.
I do too. I'm in favor of a draft. Return to the draft. Yep.
If there had been a draft, you wouldn't have seen all these bottom feeder, felons going in.
Well, you wouldn't see this
All these
war
gang
last
members
15
going
years.
in and getting military
That's
training.
one thing you wouldn't see. Nobody'd be putting up with that nonsense.
Well, no, people are,
3 and 4
there are people,
times around.
decrying the militarization of the police, but W militarized gangs by allowing gang members into the military, training them. I mean, when you have fucking gang graffiti in Iraq, American gang graffiti.
Yeah.
You sort of have to militarize your police so they can fight the militarized gangs.
Yeah. Yeah.
The gangs are more organized militias than the sorry ass white boys running around playing a GI Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I think the gangs know there's money to be made here. That's what they're in there for. The average GI Joe just enlists so he can go do his patriotic duty, and then 2 years later get sent back again. To be followed up 2 years later by getting sent back again for another year. 3 times around. And
Like I said, nobody is invested.
Nobody's paying attention, so nobody cares.
Actually, no nation has a draft anymore. So
No, I'm sure they don't. I'm sure the draft has gone by the wayside, no question.
And then you have and we can't blame we can't blame the Pentagon for a lot of shit because they actively tell Congress we don't want X, Y, or Z, and the Congress says you're getting it anyway.
It's true.
Because
That's true,
jobs.
Because lobbyists have whispered in her ear. Yeah,
because of jobs, but there's nothing to say that the Pentagon could always come back and say, okay, we'll take this money, but we want these companies to take this white elephant. There's like weapons that are being built that are obsolete. And the Pentagon say no, these are obsolete. We don't want them.
Yeah, they build them, but they don't use them. Yeah.
No, by the time they're built, they're obsolete
Right, exactly.
or they're not usable.
Definitely.
I would like to see the Pentagon say, "Sure, we'll take this money, but what will," and then turn around and rebuild the infrastructure as a defense project. Our highway system was built not for the convenience of the citizen, but for the military.
Oh, no question. No doubt about that. Never would have been built if it was for the citizenry. Yeah, that's for sure.
The electrical grid should be rebuilt by the military because it's a matter of national defense.
It is.
The American infrastructure should be maintained by the military.
Yep. I don't know about maintained by the military, but it should be out of military funds, basically. Yep.
Well, actually, the DOT should probably be placed under the military umbrella.
There you go.
Oh, you. I'm an asthmatic. I have difficulty breathing at night when the air. When it gets cooler out at night, my asthma seems to be worse. The shortness of breath is worse.
Yes.
But one can argue it's not the fault of the military that a toilet seat costs a couple of $100.
Nope.
It's the fact that the contractors are fucking grifting and cheating the shit out of the American people.
No doubt about it. Yep.
That's what we need. It's very easy to cut defense spending by forcing contractors to charge the same price for a screw that they charge everybody else with a contract to supply materials, instead of like, oh yeah, $300 for a Phillips screw and $900 for the screwdriver.
Yep. There you go. Yep. That's a beautiful thing. But you bring back the draft, you wouldn't have these 15-year-old wars. That's for sure. We'd be out of that.
You probably would, but you'd have the other issue is the whole horrible thing about putting women in combat.
Well, yeah, I think that's a bit much. I think it's a little over the top. I don't think we really need to go there. But I know there's some women that want to be equal or whatever, blah 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 blah. But
that's a fallacy, because any female that is in a combat zone is already in combat.
Yeah,
Nurses,
no doubt about it. Yeah, they
are in combat. Mechanics are in combat zones. So you can't. It's already
Yeah, it's there. I mean, you can't deny it. That's for sure.
The men. I mean, if you are horrified at the thought of a woman on the front lines, why aren't you horrified at the thought of a man in the front lines? It's no different. Or are you just horrified at the thought of a platoon of women who are all on their menstrual cycles at the same time, going all Minad on your ass and ripping you to shreds?
Yeah. I think that's what they're worried about more than anything, right there. Just all that kind of stuff there. All that stuff having to do with the vajayjay is kind of, I don't know, it's unseemly.
Well, that's because we get that from the Greeks.
There you go.
The fear of women and that whole thing about, when there was no test for paternity, men were assured that the child was theirs by saying, "Oh, he's got your eyes, he's got your nose."
Oh yeah.
And the Greeks felt, one of the reasons Athenian noblewomen were kept sequestered was because Athenian men believed that women would fuck anything that came within sight.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much.
We get our view of women from the Greeks. Not Christianity isn't the one that said, "Oh, women are wicked." No. That was the Greeks. That was Athenian males who felt that their women were had such, and that probably comes from the stories of the Maenads, the women who followed, worshipped, Dionysus. By the way, Wine puts you to sleep. Mushrooms make you ecstatic.
Okay, there you go.
So I'm going out on a limb and saying it wasn't wine that would cause the Maenads to rip and something from limb to limb because they'd be too fucking tired.
Yeah.
But mushrooms,
A little too
yeah,
mellow, though. Yeah.
yeah.
You get that too mellowed after a while, after the wine. After 3 or 4 glasses of wine, it's good night.
And Athenians hate and Grecian men hated the idea of the Bacchae, the women's rights to Dionysus, because it was women going out into the woods on their own.
Yeah.
Where they were unsupervised. They loved the Thesmophori, where the women all gathered in Athens, where they, basically they were in town, and they had their little adorable little mock trials, as is essentially, Aristophanes wrote a play, a piece about it with Euripides being put on trial for all, and that's where you get you have the description of how Athenian men thought of their women,
which is basically keep them locked up in the bedroom.
Yeah, because they'll fuck they'll fuck any male that comes to the door.
Yeah.
No, Athenian noble women did not leave the confines of their estates.
That's right. Pretty much.
Female slaves walked around naked.
Yeah.
That's how you knew they were slaves. They wore no clothing. They wore no clothing, so you would not confuse them with the tradeswomen.
There you go. There you go.
And the wives of the merchantmen.
Yeah.
Sparta, the men, the cool thing about Sparta, and I will say Ben Carson's right. I think, we should have a Spartan society in that men did all the fighting and all that bullshit. And women ran the country. Women ran everything else. Leave the fighting to the single men.
Yeah.
You could not be married and be a soldier in Sparta.
Right.
Well, if you were married, you spent your entire, you could be married, but you spent the bulk of your life living in the barracks with occasional with conjugal visits.
There you go.
Where you went home, but you did not live at a home and then go off to war. You lived in the barracks. The women ran the businesses. The women were the money makers.
There you go.
And the women were educated. Spartan women were educated.
Pretty good deal there, in that neck of the woods, no question.
So it's the way it works.
Indeed. It's nice 65 here and near 21, so it's kind of cooled off for the day. And
here in New York. Here in New York
City,
wrong clip.
Yeah, it's getting to be that time of year in New York where it gets to be pretty warm, and it stays pretty much warm all freaking day.
Hey.
If you're in the apartments and stuff.
It's 82 degrees, and it feels like it's 85 outside.
Yeah, there you go.
And it is 12:56 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, in New York City, and it's 82 frickin' degrees. With the heat, and it feels hot, 3 degrees warmer outside.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
That's why I am drinking wine.
Good idea.
I have to finish up some shit for work, so I can go into work tomorrow.
There you go. Okay. Still got to find a little barbecue joint in St. Louis.
Oh, we've got the recommendation, and I sent it to you.
Okay.
I asked one of my St. Louis friends.
All right. Okay. So
she told me, where to go and how to get there.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll go.
So we got directions for that. Okay.
Might invite my friend. I'll invite my friend and her husband to join us, and we can all hang out and have some good times, and eat barbecue.
exactly. And of course, the Wednesday night feast is at was it the Polynesian? No, no, the
Wherever.
yeah, should be a blast. That should be a good time had by all as well. Different food than what we're used to here in New York 21. That's for sure. That'll be good. And then of course we got a whole bunch of us going to be there, and I think we got like 6 or 8 people going to be there covering this event for the weekend. So it should be
It's
a
going to
riot.
be fun.
Yes, 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 yes. But yeah, the barbecue sounds like a blast too.
Yeah, I
We'll
keep
definitely do that. Get ourselves some St. Louis barbecue.
BBQ.
Awesome stuff. And we're already booked too for ground transportation back and forth, which
Yeah,
is kind of
see,
nice.
this is known as planning ahead,
Yes,
uh, folks.
yeah,
And we discuss all this. Hey, this is just like shoot the shit.
oh yeah. Ricky chimes in and says it's going to be Peruvian food there at St. Louis. So yeah, that's right. The Cheers and Cheers dinner is in some sort of mango Peruvian food kind of restaurant. So that should be pretty good. Should be outstanding. Should be outstanding stuff. Hors d'oeuvres and such all freaking evening, and just dive in and enjoy a cold beverage or two while you're there too. Got to get out of here. We got about
Yep.
we got about a minute left, but
Yep.
want to say a little curse to the Spreaker folks. Finally got you guys attached to this thing tonight. Back here next week, of course, and I don't know if I have any closing shout outs tonight. Of course, Ricky the Canuckastanian is in the chat with us tonight.
Yeah, we need to, let's
that
shout
going
out KCMO, who apparently
Yeah.
got a real job and
Yes,
has
thank
abandoned
God.
us in the chat room in the mornings
Yes. Damn it.
and in the evenings.
But
And to all
it's
those,
great
we miss
that
all
she's
you
working.
guys that have been hanging out in the chat rooms and blithering with us.
Yes. Well, now we'll get out of here. We'll see everybody next Saturday night. And with that, we're out.